So I got a little bit carried away with music.
Friday morning
Yeah,
rave.
Friday wave. How you doing, people? Welcome back to the channel. Well, I've got Raz to my left, so good morning.
Morning. Yeah, good. It's very nervous about this game. We're also very excited as well. So
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. You have to be, don't you? It's a
I
big
would, I would,
occasion.
I mean, how are you feeling going into the both that playoff game, especially tomorrow with the first one being away?
Yeah, it's unknown territory, really, isn't it, for a lot of Forest fans that are just used to us being not very good. I should say that. And yeah, it to see us get the playoffs. That in itself is a huge achievement, and we'll look back on this season with a lot of fond memories as a result. And we all want us to do it this year. We all want to go up and really to try and keep the squad as similar as it is. We need to, and I think we've proven that we're capable of at the very least surviving the PAM. But that's a completely different subject. But if we don't, if you want to win the playoffs, I don't think it would be. No one should be annoyed. No one should be upset, because we have to get promoted. But obviously, that's what we all want to do. So, that's it's a big thing. Obviously, Sheffield United are a very good side. I'm actually doing a preview myself for my channel on both games and just talking about how similar both teams are, how both games are very evenly matched, and it's going to be really interesting. And a big team's going to get knocked out regardless.
Yeah, definitely. Do go and check out Rad's preview on his channel for that. I thought
Yeah.
getting it today, that one, but yeah, it's a very big game. It's not the first time we played Sheffield United in the playoffs as well, and
Yeah.
the last time we first leg we drew 1-0. Doors got sent off. Then the second game we seemed to control, but then we lost unfortunately. But I
Mm.
mean, both teams seem to be in really good form going into this. Sheffield United they came out of nowhere to refer to get into the playoffs. At one stage they were just digging in mid-table, but they seem to come onto form. And Forest obviously we talked about it lots how good Forest have been this season, and we just missed out on second. So the two
Mm.
and four teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think all the teams are in pretty good form. But going back, I think both of us have had the most remarkable rise this season. Luton have been like top 10 all year. Huddersfield have been top 6 most of the season. Forest had that horrendous start, obviously, and we've just worked to work the table. And since like late February, March, we've been in and around the playoffs, and the last month we've been in the playoffs pretty much. Sheffield United have probably been there longer than we have overall, but I think it's amazing, really, that it shows that nothing is impossible in football. That both of us had really bad starts, especially Sheffield United, based off what they were expected to do. They were expected to be going back up after being in the Prem last year, and I think very, very early on they were in the bottom three. Remember they lost 4-0 to West Brom in like the third game of the season, and it wasn't even that, and they were in the bottom three. And when we played each other in November, they were like 14th, we were like 15th. And I remember watching that game, and it was a really high quality match. And I just thought, these are two teams that should be right up there. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were. But the fact that we've both done it is testament to both teams. And, we shouldn't have been where we were, but it takes a lot to bounce back. And we have done. And I just think it's amazing. Like, when we were doing these previews at the start of the season, I was coming on like really down and no hope. And now we're here talking about the playoffs, which is, unreal stuff for Forest to do.
Yeah, I might have to look back on all the previous at the start of the season to add everyone this. Now it's like the optimism going into it. I don't know if you've seen much of the playoffs with Forest being involved.
Not really. No,
Oh, really?
I'm thankful that in ways that I don't remember them because we lost. Like I don't remember Sheffield in 2003. Obviously, I vaguely remember Swansea in 2011 and Blackpool, but it's quite uh, thin memory really. And yeah, most of my all my time supporting Forest, which has been a long time already, it's been pretty much misery most of the time, with the occasional upturn, like under Sabri, for instance. We had a few little moments under Karanka, and that's yeah, most of the time it's not been very good, quite frankly, which is why it's so amazing that we're finally getting this season.
Definitely, I do agree. I mean, we've drawn against Sheffield United both times this season, and 1-0, funny enough. I mean, we scored that really late goal against Sheffield United with Yates there.
Very.
On that, we could have won if we took our chances. I mean, the home leg, as you said already, two high quality teams bottom end of the table. But I mean, there's sorts of difference between the two games. I mean, Forest. I mean, it was tap one the home game, but the second game, Forest was just a different class. Then, I mean, it was really, really good to watch.
Yep. It was a great game, I thought. Saying it was 0-0 for like the first hour, it was a really good game. And Brennan missed that penalty, which ultimately could have won it for us. And a lot of Sheffield fans have said that we were the best team to come to their ground, and particularly pinpointed Keenan Davis, which is why we all want him to be fit for this game. But it looks like he's not going to be, which is not really a huge surprise. Yeah, I thought we were great in that match, and we were very unfortunate to go behind. I don't think Sheffield were that good. They were all right, but I thought we were better. And that, for me, even though we didn't win that game, and this is something that we can't do now, but that's when I started to believe that we could get the top two, because like just yet another game where we've gone and got a late goal, and especially the way we played against a team that just never lose at home. Like they've lost once at home in 2022 to Reading, that was, of all teams. So, both of us don't lose in our own backyard very often, which is something it's got to give over the next two games.
Yeah, I mean, it will do. And I mean, what would be the biggest battle in the two games for you? I mean, would it be defences, or would it be the attack, or would it be the centre midfield battle?
I mean, I think throughout the game, I think but all teams across the entire park are probably strong. I'd say we've got the best attack because they've got quite a few injuries up front. They've got Brewster, McBurney, and Sharp all injured, so they've been playing Gibbs White and Dye, which I don't know that much about him. So it's quite a thin attack. Whereas with us, even though we've got Graben and Davis out, we've still got Zink, Surridge, obviously Johnson. Then we've got Lolly Mice and even Silver. So we have got probably a stronger attack even with injuries. But I think the midfield battle is going to be really interesting. Yates, Colback, and not Colback, but Yates and Garner against Berger and Norwood and Fleck. It's going to be really tight, I think. So I think all areas of the pitch, both teams are very solid at the back. So I think it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it will be an interesting battle. I mean, for us to go there, I mean, how would you want us to go about it, especially with the 2 legs? Would you want us to go in on it, win the first game, then hope not sit back on the second game, but try and go for it second game, or would you want to pass first it?
Yeah, I mean, Cooper always says, and rightly so, we get to win every game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been many times where he's gone against that. I think kind of Bournemouth, really, where we were playing hoofball, which is quite rare for us. I think a bit of Preston away as well, which is a very forgettable game, but we just weren't on it that much. I think every other time, if we are losing like Stoke at home, where that game for me defines this season, even though it wasn't a win. The mentality is my point. Is the fact that so many other times in the past we would have lost that game. We probably would have lost by a few more. That penalty wouldn't have even been the deciding factor. regardless of how it was conceded. So the fact we with 10 men, your centre half in now, you still go and get a goal. I just thought it was such a huge testament to what Cooper's done. And
Do
yeah,
you think that defined us, that Stoke game, defined like the second half of the season, like that never say die attitude?
I think yeah, it sums up our mentality definitely. I don't think it defines the second half of the season. Lots of games could do that, but I think for me, I've said a few times, kind of going off topic, but I think that when the playoffs, I believe that the playoffs was like properly possible when we hammered Swansea away from home in December, and then when we beat Blackburn away, they were second at the time, and that's when I really started to get very excited and confident. So yeah, I think for this game though, we'll go to win at Bramall Lane, but I think we might approach it a little bit like we did at Fulham. We did score and sit back really, but we certainly weren't like trying to not score another goal. But it's just that Fulham were really, really good, and they just were always going to have more of the ball, and they did. And we defended unbelievably well, one of the best defensive performances of the season. So I could see us doing something a bit like that again. Just maybe just snatch a win or something. But I don't think it would be easy. I think at the City ground it could be anything. I don't think we'll lose, but I think we could either narrowly win or we could score a few because of just the unreal atmosphere we generate. So, we've seen this season we've scored a lot of goals at home, and especially with the form we're on at home as well. So, I just think I just don't see a world in which we don't go through, to be honest, and that might come back to be a jinx, but I just think the way in which Sheffield are a great side, but I just think because the second leg's at home, I think that could be huge. If it was the other way around, I might not be quite as confident.
And the scariest thing is, I found this fact out earlier about it. We never ever won a own playoff game, which is
Really?
scary. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's scary to say least. And even not putting a negative spin on it, but I do think, especially in the keeper, I said it last night on Door's channel that you got to go into it confident because
Yeah.
it's keeper. And even when we went on I know we're going off completely off the topic, guys, but even in the FA Cup one and all that, you felt like going into it with that confidence that yeah, we might concede, but we will win.
Yeah, that always like there's been a few times this season when we have conceded the first goal. Like when we conceded to QPR, I thought it was a really good game. That it was really evenly matched in the first half, and we went in at half time 1-0 down, and I wasn't even like thinking, "Oh God, we're gonna lose this, aren't we?" I didn't even really think, to be honest, about what might happen in the second half. I just like expected it, which sounds arrogant, but I just think that's just the mentality that we have now. And like Swansea was another example. We could have been 5-1 up at half time, and then when we go and scored 4 in the second half. So yeah, I just it's that mentality is perfect, and even if we don't necessarily play the best, we find the positives and we normally get something. So we've only lost 8 matches under Cooper, which is just insane. So I think it's going to be really interesting this entire playoff campaign for us. I think we can hopefully get over the line this time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. What sort of, we probably will be expecting a much more solid team than we did against Hull.
Yeah.
That mechanical and that and all that. But obviously, where would you think we will be at the strongest? Could you see Yates Colback playing Silwich? I know people spoke about it yesterday.
Yeah, I think they'll all be. He said that Davis weren't going to be available, but he did say about Yates and Colback that probably will be able to play, which is what we all want. I do not want those two to be out, especially Yates. To be honest, I think it was that minor shoulder injury, and I don't even know what happened to Colback. But I think it was partly down to rotation but I think he probably thought, right, we're going to rotate. Those lads picked up a few knocks. So it probably makes more sense to take them out. And I've heard that Cook's going to be able to play, which is great. So yeah, I mean, the whole game, if it was any other game, I probably would have been really annoyed that we'd scored a penalty. It was scenes in the away end, and then we immediately go and concede. But because it was a meaningless game, essentially. I know we were playing for third, but it doesn't really matter because, to be honest, I'm more pleased with playing Sheffield than Luton. So,
Yeah,
it didn't really matter. But like when it happened against Reading a few years ago, that was really annoying because it actually mattered. Whereas the fact that we'd made 7 changes and we were just playing because we had to, I suppose, it wasn't too bad. So I think we will see a full strength team, 100. Well, definitely will
you
against
played
Sheffield.
Cook instead of Fig or Panzer. I mean, Panzer had a decent game, but Cook,
Yeah,
I would say that's gonna be a bit of a thingy for keeper. Be like, so stick or trace.
I think I'll go with Cookie because I think he's just the ultimate professional. What happened to his dad beforehand was horrible, and thankfully he's all right. But that still takes a huge amount of mental strength to compose yourself and play that game after that. And then the fact that he also was bleeding every so often from his head. I just thought it was fantastic, and he had a good game as well against his old side, I thought. So yeah, I think it has to be Cook. Even though he's the oldest member, it doesn't mean anything. I think he could be with us a few more years. And I just think he's an excellent player. Figs is excellent, but I don't see Figs being here next season, to be honest, which is a bit of a shame. And Panzo, this team just continues to keep developing unbelievably good players that will become unbelievably good players. Like Panzo, if he had to play, I don't think I'd be that nervous. Like, I know it was against Hull, this is Sheffield, but he did really well, and he's doing really well in the under-23s as well. And the fact that he probably won't even be on the bench because Figs is going to be there probably, and Cook's going to be back in. Just says how good our squad depth is. There's a lot of other Championship clubs that would love to have someone like Jonathan Panzo to start, and we don't even play him. So I think that's testament to how strong our team is. Players that wouldn't normally play, or youth players like Panzo, they come in to do a great job. I think the only player that does play that is a little bit of a 50-50 one, I suppose, is under Silva. And a few people have criticised Myson as well, but Martin's definitely better than Silva for me. So,
Yeah, I do think Martin he has that bit more about him than Silver.
yeah. I think Silva's not bad, but he just can't score goals. He's a
Yeah,
forward. I just don't ever see that man scoring a goal. I hope he does, but
I put money on it being first goal scorer tomorrow. Then you heard it here
do it
first.
then. I don't mind. I don't mind. Go ahead, Sander.
Yeah. What do you think Stoneham will be? Aggregate score over the 2 games. Have we faced that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be a draw, to be honest. Again, third time in a row against Sheffield. I really wouldn't be surprised if it was another 1-1. It could even be a 0-0. It could be that kind of game. Hopefully, it isn't. I mean, I just think it's difficult to go away to Bramall Lane and win, but we did it to Fulham, didn't we? So why the hell can't we do it to Sheffield? So I think it could be like 1-0 either way. It could be a draw. I think I'll go a draw, 1-1. And I do think we'll win at the City Ground. I think it would be maybe 2-1 Forest. I think we'll get it over the line that time. So that would be 3-2 aggregate.
Yeah,
So I'd definitely take that against Sheffield. And I do think if Sheffield don't go through, and I think it's the same for Forest, I think whoever doesn't win this game next season will be even stronger.
yeah,
I think they'll get it right in the summer, recruitment wise. They've already got strong sides. And we've both got low knees, like they've got Gibbs White. We've got more low knees, to be fair. But I think we'll replace them, or we'll keep a few of them, and could arguably be up for the top 2 race potentially. So I don't think whoever loses this, I don't think it's all hope lost for the immediate future.
I, Yeah, I mean, it's true. I think they will be up there anyway, regardless this season or next season. I mean, it
Yeah,
massively keeping for both teams to get into it. I mean, obviously we want Forest to beat Sheffield United,
of course. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think it has been a really, really good season from it. So,
yeah,
um,
amazing.
yeah, don't forget, guys, to big up Rad's on YouTube and his socials, as per
Yeah,
usual.
thank you.
And do check out his preview for the game. So I'd like to say thank you for coming on anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
Do hit the like, do hit the subscribe, get me to 2K.
Yeah,
Finish
subscribe to Dan the Man and Talk Forest.
62 off. So do get me to 2K. We've got 8 people watching. So do share this video. Do share the link of the YouTube channel. Do get us to 2K. So I'd like to say thank you for watching.